Hey, good afternoon, traders. This is Trader Tim from over at eminimine.com. Just wanted to do a quick trade recap for the day. I actually didn't end up having any trades on Tuesday in the live trading session, and then Wednesday with that bond auction in the morning. I was kind of expecting things to be a little bit slow, so I just kind of sat back and waited it out. But two trades today. Just wanted to run through them. Before I do that, I also have a what else do I got here? So I added to my VUG position last Thursday on the actually on the close on Thursday. Friday we put in that hammer and dipped below, but I added on Thursday at the close. I still have the ANF long position uh, from 2670. Netflix was a option position I put on at the close on Friday. I closed that out on Monday. I was expecting a kind of a gap up and go. Didn't happen, so just got rid of that guy. And let's see, DVN was one I put on today at the open. Nice little uptrend pullback, and I think that's it. Oh, I added to my Bitcoin position on what was it last week when we pulled back to right around here at like 47, 500. Little pullback and seeing if we can get higher. I sold 50% of it up around 55,000, pretty much of all my crypto, and I've been rolling over some of my Bitcoin to Ethereum on just a percentage spread basis. So if Bitcoin's up, I'm continuing to roll that over to Ethereum. So still got some, but it was nice to be able to cash in some of that yet again. Um, when Tesla announced that they were going to buy or allow uh, cars to be purchased with Bitcoin, it sounds great, but the way Bitcoin's taxed is essentially as property. It's not like you can just walk into a Tesla dealership and pay with your wallet and avoid that capital gains tax. So as cool as it would have been to buy a new Roadster with Bitcoin, you're still going to have to pay taxes, and I don't see how that will be avoided. So that was a partial reason for me wanting to just lock in some gains and whatever, pay the taxes and be able to use that cash now and put it into other things. So let's run through today's ES trades, shall we? Um, we had Notice one thing on the daily chart before I come back to the intraday is the unfilled gaps are starting to amount below us. We talked about that on coming into the week on Monday that I was expecting more of a gap and go on Monday. It didn't really happen, but Tuesday and Wednesday have been similar fashion. But the nice thing is we've overlapped with the prior day. That's actually a much healthier way to move up. Even if we're leaving the gaps unfilled, that's a little bit healthier than having these bigger areas of trade that we don't come back to because when we do return, so like the high of the first to the low of the second, there was no overlap. Well, that leaves a bigger hole for us to come back and fill. Whereas this overlap, sometimes these unfilled gaps can take a little bit longer to fill. But the last one coming into today was above us at the open and basically lined up right at the open. And so where are we at here? Right here. That's where we were. 2650 was that one. So, anyways, if we come to today, we had get rid of this halfway back her up. A little bit of a range right off the open, and we broke the halfway back short from highs to lows at that 15-minute mark, and we took out the swing high, so I just drew from low to high, thinking, hey, we're pretty close to all-time highs. I did have a low to high drawn like this, thinking we could maybe come back down a little bit more, but we didn't. We changed trend here, and off we went. So with being so close to all-time highs, I was half expecting this move to occur when this trade set up, I wasn't expecting so much of the pullback in between, and so that's why I got a little more aggressive right out of the gate. Um, but what I did here was just use the 39.2250 as the entry, um, drew up the next retracement like this to trail my stop at first, and then I just trailed the swing lows on the way up, which took us up to like a 32, so it was like 9 points on that leg, and then 3 points for the first target. So that was a pretty nice move up. And then on the short side, so we ended up, this is the top of the first 30-minute range. We broke above it pretty convincingly, and then we actually rolled back over and came down into the first 30-minute range, which I was a bit surprised to see. Um, and so you could you could draw it a couple ways as far as the short. There wasn't a high tick at highs at '02, and so we broke the swing low. Technically, this is a valid counter trend short, but because we were still above the first 30-minute range and we had not come to the next larger halfway back long, but I was expecting us to bounce there and then go higher. So I chose not to take the really tiny one here. But when we broke this 61.8 and started trading back into the first 30-minute range, I mean, you kind of have to just trade what you see. And so whether if you draw to this low here, it puts your entry just above by a tick. So 39.32 even is the entry that I ended up using. It was one tick above the first 30-minute high. If you were to extend that anchor point and wait a little longer and enter right at the top of the first 30-minute range, you probably could have caught a little bit more of a move depending on how you trailed your stop, but even then that's a bit of a stretch because look at how we pierced the next 61.8. So either way, pretty difficult to catch this leg down. So what I did was just draw up the short like this, used a 32, and then trailed the next retracement, and so was able to move my stop down to a 31. What did I use? 31.50 is what I used there for my stop, and so not a big runner on that guy, but it was nice to have that nice long earlier in the day. So that was really it. We didn't get a pullback with a swing high break down here, and we had broke the halfway back long. There wasn't anything. There was no setup or entry up here to go long. We just came right through the halfway back. So at that point, I was thinking, wow, boy, we're gonna make it all the way back to the bottom of the first 30-minute range. But then we turned around and took off, and there really wasn't a great long entry at that point. If it'd be a little bit of a stretch if you came in and drew from lows to highs like that, especially with the double top, or ended up being like a quadruple top up here. So not really a whole lot of entries to the long side, and that's what we saw earlier in the week as well. Breaking the 61.8 of the long, but then turning around and going long. So can't say that I was super surprised to see the outcome of this result in moving up, but that's what I felt made earlier in the week a little bit more challenging. So just those two for me today, and then those other positions I talked about at the beginning of the video. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks, and have a good one.